were talking about the fact that you curate and put energy into your space and allowing the people in the meter that is running emotionally.
It's fact.
People.
It's fact. I have hosted people.
Thank you for clocking that, Dutch.
Thank you. Thank you. I frequently allow people into the space for these first time experiences. Mm. And then you know how some people are like naturally submissive and know how to like just give of themselves when they are in the presence. And then there's other submissives where you're just like, so you're not gonna like offer to wash the dishes?
Nothing.
You're not gonna offer to like pay for the food? You ain't gonna. So like after, by the time they leave, if that happens, I feel depleted. Like I personally feel like my energy is sapped energetically, not like, because they didn't bring anything to the out they except for their body.
So,
and they would, I don't know, and maybe they thought like, because there's often times when people think that I like do a lot of fucking, and I really don't fuck. I don't.
It's always the people that they say a lot are not fucking.
I don't. Like every time I play, like I'm actually a big tease. A lot of like that is part of what I do. I'm a big tease denial aficionado.
Hey,
so, I think maybe, I don't know, do you think you're gonna pay for it with some ass? Like, what were you bringing to?
So this makes me want to ask a question, because like this is the topic I've been focusing on more personally for myself, and just a conversation that I think that we all need to have more regularly. We're constantly talking about aftercare and technically pre-care for submissives or S-types all the time. It's default conversation. What do you need? What do you need? What do you want? What makes you feel whole after the fact? Rarely are we doing that for D-types, Doms, Daddies, Mommies, whatever.
Thank you.
Like, like the aftercare, the pre-care, all of the things that we need, because we're two individuals on both sides of the slash, but the expectation is always on the latter side of the slash. So when you do have these engagements with folks where you're just like, all right, I clocked it, I feel depleted, you didn't do, and not even necessarily like there's this expectation that you have of others. Like you're expecting like this exchange, right? This transactional nature. It's not necessarily that you're expecting that, I assume, right? But like, if you're not giving to me and I clock it, that more than likely means I'm not bringing you back into this space. But what do you need? Yeah, what do you need? What do you require? How do you communicate what you need as on the forward side of the slash? That you need from your S-types, from your submissives, from your slaves, from your mentees. How do you communicate?
I'm a sucker for service. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for somebody that takes, like, I look around and like all I hear is the water running in the kitchen. Like, I'm a sucker for some like initiative. Mm-hmm. Like I prefer submission to be laid at my feet. Mm. I don't like to. I'm not a big person with the. I don't deal with the brat.
Ooh, say that again, because
I'm not pulling out of you. Listen, I'm too valuable.
Waiting for the internet to catch back up so we can hear you properly, because it's skipping on my end. My bad. Can you say that again?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a type that likes to have submission put at my feet. I don't like to pull on it. Mm. I think that's where we are in 2020. Like, if you wanna navigate this community in a healthy and safe way that won't get you canceled, you let put it at my feet, or I don't want it. Like, I'm not. Coercion is real. I don't want anything that feels like coercion. Like, so I just want to present in a way. I want to abide by 4 agreements. I want to be impeccable with my word enough. I want you to watch me be impeccable with my word enough. I want to like not take anything personal. I want to never make assumptions, and I want to always do my best enough for you to be like, I want to serve you.
Yes.
And this is what I want to bring to you. Okay. And when I ask you, and this is what I want to bring to you. Like I want to exist in a way that's just that pulls you feel convicted to give me your submission, not me trying to convince you of my dominance.
Right. Right.
I like the 4 agreements.
Very different energy.
That's very good. That's very true. And that can be applied to so many aspects of just our regular day lives and our own non-kink relationships, but also very much in our kink relationships. So beautifully, well said. Like, damn. I just want to stay on here like forever, just listening. What else are we gonna talk about? Like, this is so nice.
Listen, I'm here for this. I think me and Mr. Spade, we talked for what, 3 hours the other day? Just grooving, smoking the J's. And what's going on? Like, I'm here for discussions and conversations with other giraffes that eat on the plane that I eat on. That's a TD Jakes reference. That's a TD Jake. The giraffes.
Back to my childhood.
And the tortoises. The tortoises and the giraffes. Neither perspective is wrong. But we ultimately eat on the plane which our head lies.
Right.
Right. I do have a question because that kind of ties into this. You've spoken about how you've done shadow work and you've worked through your own spiritual, mental, personal blocks. How does what you do, whether it be kinky or building dynamics, how does your spirituality, whatever form it takes, no matter what it looks like, how does that kind of fold itself into your dynamics or in your experience?
Okay, this is good. This is about to be a good conversation, y'all. So when I tell you everything has intention, y'all about to gag because I'm about to break it down for you.
Come on, do it.
So when I came into the scene, I was searching. I was searching for what my identity, like what was the name that I was going to go by. And at first, I came up with these cheesy surface ass names. My mentor was like, "Nah, I got it. He's like, go deeper." So I kept digging, and then I landed on the Orishas. So I'm like, I'm reading each name like word for word, like, and I finally get to the O's, and I read Oya, and then I was like, and then I read the information about Oya. Then I went to another website and I pulled up Oya. I wanted to get some more. Like, I started looking. I was like, oh, okay. I think it's Oya. I really think that I resonate. And in the future, even at that time, I was like, in the future, I think I would like the juxtaposition of a male honorific to a female deity, a female power source's name or deity. Like it was like in my head, it was an elevation of the divine feminine from the gate. So over time, I ran into like other people, and they were, of course, my name provoked conversation. They're like, do you know your name? We started these conversations. And I'm starting these conversations with spiritual folk. And they, of course, everybody like gives you like an anecdote about, oh yeah, when you like, oh, you know, she da 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 da. And like, so you start to hear the stories. And then I had someone tell me, you know, you carrying her namesake, you're gonna start feeling yourself. Like exhibit her and like exude her and just that. I was like, yeah. I kind of knew that. Like that's what I was like when I was doing the research in the beginning. I was like, I resonate with her here. And so yeah, as Mount Saint Oya, the vision grew for me building the family. my spiritual journey kind of coincided with that. Like, it was like all last year, beginning of last year, I was just like in this deep, I had my first spiritual godparent. I was getting tarot card readings regularly. Like, I started really opening myself up to things that I was taught to shun as a Christian. So I made conscious choice to be like, I'm open, like I want to hear. And I was listening for consistency. I was listening for, does this make sense? Did this actually happen? Did it show up? Like, I was almost a minister, so I know how to dissect and exegete and all the things, like spiritual text, all that. Like, that's my thing. So was it making sense for me? And it was. Also, knowing that I was going to, this is where we get to the good shit. Knowing that I was going to name the tribe after Oya as well, Mount Saint Oya. And the patch, can you grab my book? The leather patch that I had designed for the family is pretty much Oya's sigil.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So my mentee was like, sir, I think it would be wise for us to seek counsel about whether we spiritually have permission from Oya to carry her sigil in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? You right.
Right.
You right.
You gotta.
It's hers, so let me ask.
Let me ask. So I went to my godparent. I was like, hey, I'm about to do this endeavor. I want to know whether it's okay. Is there anything that I should navigate differently? Like when I'm wearing the sigil versus when I'm not wearing the sigil, even carrying the name, is there anything that I should be aware of? Like any conflicts, blah, blah, blah. I asked questions. She was like, no. She said, but your charge, if you're going to wear Oya's sigil or any of the above, your charge is going to be to protect Oya's women and AFAB bodies. Like for me, it translates to women and AFAB bodies. Protect them. And I was like, my slave, I'm gonna protect my slave. I'm gonna protect my mentee. I don't mind being a bulldog for the women that are in my life or the AFAB bodies. Like, where can I assert my privilege to assist you? Right. How can I show up for you? And so I agreed to that. And I was like, my girls will always be first in my life. And in anything that has to do with Mount Saint Oya and its expansion. My first line, my Dora Milaje is my girls. Right? Like, y'all got to get through them to get to me. If they don't see it for y'all, I'm not playing with you. Like, if they get bad vibes from your energy, then we ain't connecting. Right. Now, granted, checks and balances for like spurs of jealousy or whatever the case might be. But on paper, if you ain't resonating for good reason with my girls, you ain't getting through. Because they are who I have to protect. So the purple is intentional. I'm both a needle player, and that's Oya's color.
I noticed that.
Oya's color of choice. The copper is because that is Oya's offering of choice. The copper around my patch is the same. The way I show up in my play, especially in impact play, is very like much of a like wind. I incorporate wind into a lot of my play. I tends to look like I'm creating a storm with my Florentine.
Can I also notice with your sigil is that it's a lightning bolt.
Yes.
It's
either a lightning bolt or a storm, depending on how you translate.
It comes in and it turns things up. It turns the tide.
Change.
Trees. It changes things. Exactly. Beautiful.
Yes. So then now you parallel.
It's intention. That's what we love to see is this intentional power put into these. That's gorgeous.
And then you parallel what you said earlier about how the people attached to me take their titles. and change them.
Exactly.
Right? Like, and I forced them to change them. Well, not forced them. He already had that. But like for Slave Gaia, when she came to me, shit was out of whack, you know, and I felt it my responsibility as her master in protecting the property, being a prime directive, to like help her get it together. Mm-hmm. So we had to get medication adherence down pat. We had to like, I think I referred her to a diet plan. She went in. She went all in. She put her discipline to the front and lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
Over holiday season.
Come on now.
Okay. Like she lost 40 pounds over holiday season because she just committed to a suggestion that I made. Last week, she sent me a screenshot of her paperwork for her blood glucose test. And she was diabetic. And on this particular test, it said on a scale from 91 to 125, hers was at a 91. Wow. And she's saying, thank you, sir. Absolutely. This was because of you and you. Like, so let's change it up. Now her therapist is assigning her shadow work, which I like. And if you know about shadow work, ain't nobody assigning you shadow work if you still in chaos.
Right. That is just not a possibility.
It's just not you can't do it all at the same time. So that means that they've seen enough stability in her time with me to allow her to go into shadow work. Mm-hmm. So like the receipts are there.
Right.
I have effectively changed her life with her discipline applied to the suggestions in which I gave. She's all the better. She has a new relationship with her daughter that's budding and healthy that she didn't have. Right. She got her own place. My slave is 50 years old, and this is the first time she's ever lived alone. Because I told her last September,
talk about change, baby.
I was like, you can go move across the street. My building has vacancies across the street, and you can afford it. And daddy will be here across the street. You'll be okay. Be a big girl. Like, you need this experience. Right. And she's like, sir, you know, like, I feel so good. And I never thought I would be so, you know, I would have such stability. Like, that's the shit that makes me feel powerful.
Of course.
That's the things that I like to feel. Because, you know, but I think back to top this off. I think back to Eat, Pray, Love. When she was in Rome and she was going through the Colosseum and she was like, ruin is a gift. Ruin paves the road for transformation. So when Oya creates a storm, if I'm upset, they know if I'm upset, it's because I really mean what you are fucking it up, and I'm creating a storm so that you can change some shit.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think you
I love you for that.
Very well.
So well. And like, it's such a deeper conversation that just
I know.
Baby, you want to touch on some deepness? Like, you want to get in there, get to the core? Yeah. Let's talk about change.
That's my thing.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
Right? All about ruin.
Listen, the reason why I can do the work that I do with the people that I do it with is because I've met ruin so many times.
Right.
Like, I'm giving you tools that I use. That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing the tools, methods, everything that I used, and me getting my bootstraps together is what I use in the people who are in Mount Saint Oya official. Like, you know, my own paperwork people, they get that side of me. They get the accountability partner, the life coach, I care about your entire life. That's the difference between me and play partners. Even though I still come to the rescue for a play partner because that's just my philanthropic nature. But I guess
play partner
it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different investment, a different quality.
Yeah.
But okay, so we are going to do part 2, but for now,
I was just like, there's more.
But for now, like, I do want to, okay, I'm going to ask you one more question and then we're going to cut it. But 2 more questions technically. But
okay.
You've made a significant impact, not only in your community, but also in just like your family, your leather family, your slave, your submissive, in their lives, like substantial impact in their lives.
What the hell?
And you've like stepped into this ownership of your own divine, your own expression of the divine and feminine, your own expression of Oya and all the power within. How would you, or if you were talking to your younger self, are there things that you would recommend that you do, words of advice that you would give?
I hate you. Ooh, I hate you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it to you.
You know, I just watched RuPaul's Drag Race and she poses that question. And I'll be like, damn, every time. Because that
one kind of hits.
You know, what would I tell myself? Younger me. I would say, keep your head up. Keep plowing forward. You are going to, you're going to hurdle many times, but you'll remember the lessons. You'll reclaim your time. You'll enrich the world with what you've learned. Be your fullest artist as soon as you can. Love on the artist in you, even when other people won't, or don't, or you don't feel like you're allowed to. Give yourself permission.
I like that. Okay, so part 2 of my question. Where can the people find you? What are you working on? How can they invest in you?
I am working on, I'm working on a lot. It feels like so many places I want to go and things I want to do. I'm going to be starting podcasting soon.
You're going to have us on your podcast, though,
I'm
right?
on the circuit, yes.
Oh.
On the circuit. I want to, it's payback. I want to dig in with you guys and some other people who I've been fortunate to exchange energy with. But we have Mount Saint Oya has a website where if you subscribe to the website, anytime we have a major development, anytime I have a major development, I can send send out a blast. It's mountsaintoya.com.
Can you spell that?
MountSaintoya.com. And my Instagram is mount.saintoya. Everything is really congruent. Mount.saintoya. My Twitter, for all you freaky folks out there, at the THEOYA_RA. And my Cash App.
There we go.
Get them with it.
Tribe MSO, TRIBE MSO, #. Venmo, the same. Tribe MSO.
Come on with it. Let them know. Shit, let them know.
Right?
You can email me, book me, hire me. I do demonstrations.
Yeah. Are you based in New York? Where are you based, Oya?
I'm based in Washington, D.C., so I got access to everywhere.
Okay.
We are. This is a hub. There's 3 airports near here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Flies me out. I teach y'all. If I don't know if you get a chance. If you don't know who I am, check out my Instagram. Florentine experience. I just love putting on experiences. I know how to. I draw you in with. I like the scene to be for everybody watching too. So.
And they're beautiful scenes, by the way.
Bite. I flag all kinds of colors. Needle play, nipple play.
All the things.
All the things. Body worship. I'm realizing that body worship is my jam.
Ooh,
I like being worshipped.
Specific body parts?
I think it's that permission thing. Mm-hmm. I don't care what body part it is, really. I think I just get off on, like, I have had my kneecap kissed to a point of me almost busting. So
yeah, can I just piggyback that for a minute? It wasn't the kneecap. It was like the under part.
The back.
Yeah. Like I'm just
like little pecks. Like they're just like worship. Like
it's a space that's not touched. Like we barely touch it as our own part of our body, but then to have a partner or lover person touch it, you're like, whoa, this is nice.
I like it.
That's gorgeous.
But there is no flag for that.
Yeah.
But fire play. But you'll see. Oh, I'm also on OnlyFans, and that's that is at Sir Oya as well. But there's a link in my bio on Instagram, so just follow me on Instagram, and all of my links are there at Mount Saint Oya. But my OnlyFans is about to be popping. I got some fireplace scenes. Like, I got some intense shit. Like my home is kind of just like anything can happen, and a camera can go on at any moment, and we just capture like these random, sporadic moments of joy that we exchange. And I try to capture everything, but I can't. Typically, the scene starts before I remember to put the camera on. So by the time I start recording, you've already probably been at it for a while.
Right.
But the stuff that I do capture is typically really, really good and enough to, put out into the world. So I got him. We're gonna be cranking that out again soon. I'm looking to work with some more AFAB bodies. Mm-hmm. I am. I got my girl, but I want to create some content with some more bodies.
Paige, you think about going down to Washington?
Look, I mean, I was just going to say, because we have some content to create already. I have been looking for more AMAB, but specifically Black AMAB bodies. And just like, we're going to create some really beautiful.
I want to work with, I want to spread some more joy. I want to see some more healing. Like, it's been a journey of just moments that really leave me speechless. Like my mentee sharing with me when they've been vulnerable with me, and with me not being oblivious, I'm healing them by treating them properly in the vulnerability. I'm sitting here like, oh, that happened, and I'm having to read. I'm like, damn. I was teaching. If I can share this a little more, I was teaching my mentee Florentine flogging. And I got behind her at a certain point to move her hands and blah, blah, blah. And then I had her get up on the wall so that I could show her what it feels like, because that's how I train. You need to feel it so that you know what you're dishing out. And at a certain point, she got, she was like, okay, sir, I gotta go. She was flustered. And I was like, what? Wow. That was strange. I didn't feel right. So I called. I was like, you all right? She was like, I'm good. I was like, okay. And then 2 days later, she finally called me and was like, so, sir, I don't think you realize how vulnerable I was in that moment. But she was like, my mind was blown, because it wasn't just me being flogged. It was you standing behind me and there not being an extra press against me. It there was nothing extra hanging on to you trying to teach me. You were cheering me on. You were motivating me and empowering me. And she's like, I ain't no nigga been shit in my life. And to like hear you, you know, praising me and coaching me, you know, helping me with no pretense was like a whole healing moment that like she had to process for 2 days. And so like, I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to like run into people and have people to experience me and be healed by their interaction, because I'm able to move and navigate in healthy ways to give them that moment of like, I got out of like, it's almost like it's like a booby trap to go into somebody's house, right? Like you have to like really.
At every corner, you may be sexualized or dehumanized or whatever constantly. And like, this is a topic I really want to talk more with you about, and honestly more with you and your mentee, because like, I don't know if y'all are on Clubhouse or whatever, but I've been on Clubhouse and a couple of other things, a couple of folks that I follow on Instagram, and like the constant, even if you just watch the news, the constant level of just alertness that we're constantly on, if you're living in a female presenting body, of just booby traps and sexism and just someone invading your space or reducing you down to your parts, like it's constant. So to step into a space, especially one where there is an inherent power dynamic automatically, and you can step in and just be seen and interacted with as a human, not your parts, not your gender, just as a human person.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can take a breath. You can genuinely take a fucking breath. And it's so rare that we get to do that if you're living in a body that presents in the world as ours. You know? And so like that is, I commend you for that, because it's not even worthy of a commendation, right? Like it's just like, this should be the default, honestly.
Right.
There's no cookie that you're deserving of. There's no cracker. Like it's just, this should be the basis. But
I just want to share what I enjoy about being able to interact with AFAB bodies. Like I am doing the work. I continue to do the work to protect Oya's women, right? And AFAB bodies. Like that is what I signed up for when I started Mount Saint Oya. That I literally knew that going in. And so like if I don't want praise. I just want people to know that if they do want to experience something and feel safe, I got a track record for being safe and covering the bases and knowing how to respect you.
Mm-hmm. And being safe is like, there's so many intricate ways in where you can just show someone that you are a safe space to come into. And oftentimes it's just, it's a deeper conversation to have. I genuinely want to have it, because we are constantly, if you just look at the news, man, like we need more of that around us. We need people that, regardless of your gender, but especially AMAB individuals and men and male presenting bodies, we need you to hold this space for us and just let us exist and not be reduced by or reduced to our genitals, our parts, our gender, and hold other people that look like you accountable to do the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we want to keep you. We want to just like keep you and talk to you forever.
You get me. If we talk about kink and we talking about life, like if anything that got to do with kink, life, a personal development book, what I eat and sleep is mindfulness practice. It's research. It is how can I feed my soul this way? How can I enrich how I show up in the world this way? Like conferences. Last week I just randomly did a Narcan training, a virtual Narcan training for harm reduction. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's 2 hours, it's for free. Mm-hmm. And what does it hurt me to learn about how to?
It never does. It never hurts you to learn.
Narcan, right? Like how can I best help a person who has an addiction? How can I best, like, without telling them, oh, you wrong for having addiction? Like, what is the actual work?
Right.
True.
And so I've been just, that's where I'm at now. But I got all kinds of interests.
I know, and we're gonna have to get you on a live. We're gonna have to do like a part 2, like, of this conversation, because I was telling Paige that I could just sit here and like, I could just like, yeah, I just want to listen to everything that they're gonna say. Just go ahead. It's so nice. But we can't.
There has to be a limit.
We can always have cocktails, even virtual cocktails, offline.
No, you already know I'm gay.
You already know. We can, like, me and Mistress Paige, the other day, we was moving around the house. Shit on face mask. I was sweeping the house.
Listen,
we were getting things done.
About that, like, that's because I think it is important to, like, network and again, finding those people who are giraffes like you, and being able to sit and talk and just answer.
Genuinely,
there's so many conversations that we can't have in vanilla world. Like, we can't even begin to have certain conversations because their emotional maturity isn't where ours is as lifestylers. And so, like, you can't talk about polyamory in most spaces. You can't, unless you're educating from the grassroots. Like, you got to educate about why it is effective and healthy and all.
In some places, you can't talk about it even if you're in the same group to talk about it, because not everybody is going to see or understand or look at the way that you look.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing that when you can come together with people who are, it's like, not necessarily, I don't want everybody to agree with me. That's boring.
Right.
Agree with me and everything that I say and how I move. Okay, that's nice for like 2 seconds.
Right.
But in a place that I can say something, and even though you might not agree with it, you can understand it and you can challenge it and you can have a conversation about it. Not maliciously, not out of some kind of like misplaced sense of anger, but like, so you think that is that? Tell me about it.
Right.
When you can find humor in the banter.
Right.
But you can even find, when you get to the place where you can find humor in the banter, because y'all both, like, it was so, that moment in, did y'all watch WandaVision?
Yes.
That moment when Vision met Vision.
Yes.
And they were like, and they had stopped fighting to actually have this dialogue.
Talk to each other.
That dialogue was so goddamn sexy. Because they were like
it's self-recognizing self. It's like, and it's like past self, future self, timeline self. It's like, wait, you're me, I'm you. So let's talk about
that thing was so powerful.
Why are we fighting? Yeah, it's
true.
Why are we fighting?
So I'm not the cool kid in the bunch, and I need to watch WandaVision.
You do. I will tell you up front, you got to get past episode 1 and 2.
Okay.
Episode 3 is where it breaks out. Yeah. By episode 8, your mind is fucked. Like, you just like, wait, hold up. Because
Marvel put their whole foot in it. I will.
Next time I come on here, I got to break down shadow work using episode 7, 8, and 9 of WandaVision.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
I already got
it.
It's like that.
Okay.
You need to
fuck up everybody's head.
Episode 7, 8, and 9, I got a whole shadow work breakdown. I'm trying to write an ebook for it so I can create a funnel for another stream of income.
Okay.
I love it. Come on now. See, this is why I with you. I'm like, there's just that resonates so much with you.
Shadow work for the blurred and the nerd. Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, let's do things.
Listen, I'm for it.
But I may or may not be doing a podcast about that this week coming.
So you're gonna drop the links, right?
I will when we decide on all of the details. My man Will Smiley on Instagram, I think it's Will.Smiley. He has a podcast. The Sweet. I think it's called the Sweet Podcast. The Sweet Podcast, and he's hilarious. Oh my God, he's so funny to talk to. But I was watching WandaVision. I was telling him, I called him. I was like, Will, I think some episode 7, 8, and 9 was about shadow work. he was like, "Oh, bitch, break me down." So I was like, and I mean, we got to the point where I was giving him time signatures. I was like, now start here.
Oya, we can't do this because now you're seducing my inner Marvel geek, and like that is a whole another like 3-hour conversation that we can have.
Listen,
easily.
It's so good to me. It's so good to me, and it's like the model that I thought up. You can transplant to like whether you are Wanda, because the ebook is going to be insert your name here, vision, right? Like with a little bracket. And so like when you are Wanda, like the process of the realization, I'm not trying to give away too much.
Yeah, right, because I'm just like, I have homework to do.
Yeah, homework. Like, I'm gonna need you to watch that before next week.
You are not gonna put me on a timeline.
Listen.
You did not just put me on a timeline. Listen. Yes, sir.
I just want
yes, sir.
I didn't mean that. I just want you to be able to follow the podcast when I'm doing it.
See, so smooth with it too. So smooth.